a self-reflection show, who I am inside, thanks to all these products and methods I learned on the internet. Welcome to HowDoWeHuman, the podcast where we overanalyze all of the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
And I'm trying talking with my hands and overemphasizing weird words.
Incredible choice for an audio medium.
Engagement. I think it comes across in the audio.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a Shatner-esque quality to your speech pattern right now.
Listen, there are a lot of podcasters that try that method. You listen to it, and I'm like, I don't know that you're human.
Well, yeah.
And people love it.
What better place to try that out than HowDoWeHuman?
Yes.
Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
And I'm one of your other hosts, the only other one, Evan Cox. This sucks. That's not this podcast.
Sucks.
If you didn't like that, keep listening. Today we were talking about self-care routines, self-care products, regimens. We're digging deep into the self, and I gotta dig deep into this self. That's not myself. Yourself. I'm going to exfoliate you. I'm gonna rub that all over you to get the toxins out. So, expel toxins on me. How you doing, Chris?
Well, okay. Here come my toxins.
Blech.
I mentioned in the last episode that I competed in an amateur Irish dance competition in which one person does Irish dancing on the regular and had to get a group together of people who had never done it before to do a 90-second routine.
Okay.
So a bunch of us got together, we learned the routine over 2 or 3 practices. Truly an exhausting 90-second routine. Lots of spinning, so you get really dizzy, and lots of footwork, so you're also exhausted. Tough stuff.
Yeah.
I had resigned myself to, well, look, we're not going to win this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, obviously, because I'm in the middle of the routine. But based on how I feel, we're not very good at this.
I recognize that feeling from improv shows.
Yeah. It's an event that, or it's a competition taking place in the middle of an event of a big Irish cultural
festival.
fair. They've got a bunch of different dance competitions from the people who do it more often. They've got a little pen where they have some sheep, and they've got sheepdogs, and they show you how they train the sheepdogs. They've got bounce castles and inflatable slides and
classically
little archery
Irish.
For yeah, there was a Disney themed bounce castle with Jasmine from Aladdin on it.
Nice.
Classic Irish tale. But we find out there are 5 teams competing in this amateur competition. This is the first time they've ever done this particular event. And so there are 5 of us. And eventually we all get brought over to the stage. And even though I know we're going to lose, I start feeling really both nervous and hungry at the same time. And the other groups that are competing, there's a family, then there's a pair of people, our group of 10 and maybe one other group of like 4. So we are by far the largest group. And all 5 teams are waiting in the wings, and one of the guys on our team jokingly starts talking trash to the other dancing teams, most of which have like children on them.
Nice.
But a lot of like, you guys are going down, and like in a very clear like, I'm not trying to intimidate you, I'm just trying to like
Have some fun.
Exactly. We get up there, we do the routine. It's, in my opinion, the worst we've ever done.
Isn't that how it always works?
I don't want to point fingers, but 2 people at different points did the wrong move or went to the wrong side or left a move early. The reason I know that 2 different people did this is because one of them was on my right and the other one was on my left. So I'm in the middle of both people doing the wrong thing at different points in the dance. So I'm like, we're losing for sure. And then as we're getting off the stage, there's a judge there, taking notes, doing the scores. As we're getting off the stage, that same guy turns to the other teams again and is like, you guys are going down. And the one person who's done the Irish dancing before has to turn to him and be like, what are you doing? Like, they could dock us points for that.
Oh, shit.
And so we have to spend the next several hours, because it takes them a long time to announce the winners.
Wow.
Basically being like, everybody else felt like we did really well, except for like me. I was the only one who was like, I think that's the worst we've ever done it. But everybody else was like, no, I think that looked really good. It went really well. I think we'll maybe be okay as long as the trash talk doesn't dock us points. Long story short, we won the competition. So I guess trash talk is actually allowed. To be fair, I was like, feels like talking trash. Maybe a little Irish.
Possible.
Maybe you should get points for that. I don't know.
Maybe you did.
Maybe we did. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the scorecards. I do think that the fact that we had a group of 10 and the other groups were like 2 people, 4 people, like I think that was able to mask some of our more egregious mistakes.
Yeah, pinpoint.
Safety in numbers.
I was gonna say, if they were on both of your sides fucking up, you just take that moment to step out and just be like, hey, look at me.
look over here. Yeah, I would love to know though, Evan.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I love that this is the second time in recent memory you've had to learn a dance on short notice and just had like a couple of practices. It's a weird theme in your life.
I've conquered the world of Indian dance and Irish dance, and
he's coming for your culture.
I'm coming for your culture, and I'm gonna win.
Well, fantastic. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I really, I'm going to give an update. I'm undecided to what. Maybe 2 things, because neither of these are really a story. I just wanted to update. I forgot to mention something in the last episode. We talked about protesting and meeting at my first in-person protest at the No Kings protest. And Jocelyn had posted this to her story, a photo of it, because I realized as we're doing, you're holding your sign, and then people are driving by and they're honking and waving and shit. So you wave back at them. And I almost did it right there. I think I just have a natural parade float wave.
Yeah, I do remember her posting something that's like you had like a pageant kind of
It's me
wave.
holding the sign with my hand like this. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I was feeling it as I was doing it, but then thinking like I'm probably just in my head and I just look like I'm waving. But then when I saw the photo, I'm like, oh man, no, I was just protesting, but like waving like a float princess. I don't know. That's just a natural part of me, I guess. I need to put me on a float
Yeah.
of root beer.
Hey.
Wave my way to the bottom.
Again, if you hated that, keep listening.
It gets better. The other update I was going to give, I mentioned I've got neighbors up the road who are really weird about me walking my dog.
Yes.
She had like come out and was like, who are you and what are you doing? Just really shitty. And then when I told her, like, I live here, I'm walking my dog, she was like, friendly.
Right. In a way to justify her.
Totally. Like, oh, there's been robberies
anger.
in the area and blah, blah, blah. Real, whatever, neighbor app, citizen app behavior.
Sure.
So I was walking. I was like, I'm just not going to walk down that road anymore. And the last time I went with Jocelyn and both of our dogs, she was like, no, fuck that. Let's just go down that road. Everything's fine. We did. They weren't there, so I'm like, all right, it's open up. Whatever. I will. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to walk my dog down this road. And so I did the other day. And as I was walking past that house, there was a truck driving up the road and the sun was glaring on the window. And so I'm just kind of walking and, I think we've talked in other episodes about just giving a little, smile and nod sort of thing. But I was feeling extra friendly. So I gave a smile and
you
nod.
hit him with the pageant wave?
I hit him with the pageant wave through candy. I was given the just little like smile and nod to a truck because I couldn't see who was driving it, and then it's driving so slow, like 1 or 2 miles per hour, just creeping up the road, and eventually I get close enough to see it is that woman driving, and so I try to be overly friendly and give a big smile and a wave. Hey, glares. She is going like 1 mile per hour, just staring at me. And then parks her car. My dog was smelling some flowers. I'm like, nah, you get over that right now. We're going home. I'm not sticking around here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to fucking do with this woman, but she hates me for some reason. Or she hates dogs. I don't know. She doesn't trust one of us.
I think she hates. I think she hates you.
This podcast.
I think just straight up, she hates you.
Yeah, I think that's very likely. Which isn't good for my self-image. So I'm going to try to do something about that. I have a very poor self-image, and I can use a lot of self-care to inflate my ego, which everyone wants. Chris, are you taking care of yourself?
No. I mean, I don't really use a lot of self-care products. I don't really do any of that. I just have, your basic toiletries, but nothing like to really rejuvenate or anything like that.
Gym tan laundry?
No. I don't know what you mean. That's how out of the loop I am.
Oh, you're so out of the loop You don't know the 20-year-old reference to Jersey Shore?
No, I never learned it.
That's a
So
shame.
I think it's not a shame. I think it's actually incredible.
I think it's a
And I
big...
am so brave and should be lauded as a hero.
I think it's a big pop culture blind spot. You
I
can know
think
the
I should have
name
my own
Snooki.
parade. Let's get those non-squeaky tanks out in front of my house.
WD-40.
Yeah.
You did cut out briefly, so I didn't hear what you said. You said you do the basic, and then you cut out.
Oh, just like basic toiletries and stuff. Like I don't know.
Sure,
I don't know
yeah.
how expansive we go into what is or is not a self-care product.
Whatever you're doing. You put some lotion. You're using lotion.
I don't use lotion.
Oh my god,
It's like
this guy's
it's
dry
truly
as hell.
just like I have my body wash, I have my deodorant. The end.
All right. Well, we got to do something about this. We need you to spend more money.
Yeah, I'm sure we do. This, speaking of products, though, this is something that I was going to put in at the beginning of this episode and then opted to switch up for the Irish dancing.
Sure. Okay.
But yesterday at work, there was a raffle.
Cool.
Everybody who was working,
Love that.
fill out a little ticket, and you might win a prize. I never win the prize.
Well, I think we talked about this on another episode. It was same with me at my old workplace where they would do frequent raffles. It's like I worked there for 7 years. I never won shit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
They eventually draw the names.
Yeah.
And they send it out in an email who won. And 4 people won. I'm one of them.
It happened.
It happened.
Okay.
And it says, go to the admin office to pick up your prize. And I'm the first one to go down there.
Okay.
So I walk in there. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Lovely.
I go in there. Look at these bags. Incredible.
Oof.
But you'll notice that there are 3 gift bags here, and I said 4 names were drawn.
Yes.
This tiny little bag down here is the one that's assigned to me. Has my name on it. I can see in these other gift bags that there's like this one has like an exfoliant kit or something like that. This one has
the bags are bigger and the items are popping out of the bags.
Correct. This one over here has these 2. I think both have like big like travel mug cups.
Okay.
And then I have this much smaller bag that's like wrapped and closed.
Wrapped in Valentine's Day wrapping paper.
Yeah, everybody else seems to have like holiday themed, and then mine has hearts on it.
Awesome. It is June, regardless. But
something, there's the hope though. You're like,
yeah.
Well, they say good things come in small packages.
Yeah. This
so I've told you that there's
raise?
Yeah. Maybe it's just a wad of cash. I don't know.
An IOU.
I've told you that there's an exfoliating kit.
Yes.
I've told you that there are like travel mug things like they weren't Stanley cups, but they were that type of thing. What do you think was in that tiny little bag that was assigned to me as a raffle winner?
I can't imagine. I don't know.
1 fluid ounce of spray hand sanitizer.
I mean, it's good to have.
Yeah, it is good to have, but that just sort of like I wouldn't have been like stoked to get the exfoliating kit, right?
Sure. But it's something. So, does raffle and and then they're like assigning these things to people. They already had these things, like, or did they go
It's
out
unclear.
shopping?
The method of what happened was unclear. They must have already had them. I don't believe that they would have drawn the names, then ran out, grabbed stuff for those people, and then
Interesting.
came back. I think they already had these things, but it is like it's almost like just don't even draw my name and toss the hand sanitizer in one of the other bags, you know?
Yes.
Like
I'm going to mirror back to you something you said to me a second ago. Um, I think they hate you.
I mean, you might be right. I get a weird vibe sometimes from the people that drew that raffle.
Holy shit, that's funny.
But yeah, that's sort of that encapsulates my my work uh
That's
opinions,
incredible.
experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I walked in there, saw those bags, and said, I started laughing. I was like, I gotta take a photo of this.
You were right
Uh,
too. It's very funny.
yeah, the person in the admin office was like, "Oh, I think they're telling you you're dirty or something if they're just giving you a thing of hand sanitizer." But that is, I guess, a self
I
care
guess it's
product.
gonna have to
Certainly, the
be.
exfoliating kit that was in the other bag
It
is.
would have
So
been.
this wasn't completely unrelated. Everybody, I promise. This was somewhat
He
related.
made a very big point out of pointing out there's exfoliant. um, so hard to tell the sizes based on the bags, and then we will get on to other stuff. But like, was a fluid ounce of hand sanitizer is pretty small.
It
Was the
is.
wrapping larger than that, or is
The
everything in the
wrapping
picture
was a
smaller
little
than?
larger than that. The wrapping, it
Okay.
was basically like a small, like, you know, those like plasticky gift bags
Mm-hmm.
that are just like sometimes you tie a ribbon around it or whatever to like
Sure.
seal it.
Love to.
Um it was kind of like that, but it was folded down and then stapled
Okay.
instead of like with a ribbon. So it was that, but it was that style of bag. Um
Okay.
but yeah,
Fascinating.
I know.
But that to me says you need more self care than anyone because you're not getting it from this raffle.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
care
true.
about. That's what self care is all about. Nobody else gives a shit about us.
That's very
Gotta
true.
care about ourselves. I have a theory, and I hope this is not too personal of a question,
Ooh.
and or statement. I don't know, statement that leads to an inferred question. But
Okay.
I'm wondering on my behalf if a lot of me getting, because I am relatively into self care. I don't go crazy, but I'm going to have a lot of stuff to talk about in this episode. And I wonder if a lot of that stems from me having very bad skin as a teenager and very sensitive skin still to this day. That a lot of products fuck me up, and not using products fucks me up. Using too many products fucks me up. Like, it's a very sensitive balance for me to not be covered in scars, essentially. Between the acne and the eczema, I've had a time. So I think that at a young age got me like, oh, I need to use a lotion. I need to use a certain type of cleanser. Like, I'm looking at ingredients and stuff. Did you not as much go down this path? Because I will say, from someone who does not use a lot of these products, you appear to have pretty solid skin.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I definitely had quite a bit of acne as a child or as a teen in my teen years.
My teen years.
I had like I can't remember what they were called. Um but I had little like acne like moist pads basically that you just rub
Yeah,
on your
sure.
face. I
Yeah.
had those and I would get into like a period of time where I would use them, then break out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but that's actually how it's supposed to work. Is it's supposed to like
That's what
bring it
people
all
say.
out, and then it's supposed to be good after that. And it's like, well, I don't want
I don't
I
want a
don't
part of this
want it all to break
process.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Um
that time period and that being the word. At this point, now that you've reminded me of it, I don't think that's true at all. I think it's
yeah,
bullshit.
I think you might be right. Because also if you I because I'd go through waves of like using it and then I wouldn't really use it.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to make a huge difference other than sometimes it felt kind of nice to
Hmm.
apply because it was like
It feels
a
nice
little
to
bit like, you know,
cooling.
it was cooling. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I know the stuff. I used it too.
But that's about the extent of it. I haven't ever really used lotion. I do, and unfortunately, you know, I hope that this doesn't vindicate why I received this. But I do wash my hands pretty frequently,
Okay.
especially in, you know, post
COVID.
COVID. So in the last 5 years, I especially wash my hands a lot. Um, and I do apply hand sanitizer occasionally, but definitely much more of like a washing my hands person. But I know like real special products.
That might have been what happened. Your workplace is just like, this guy fucking loves washing his
This guy,
hands.
he'll be stoked about this.
Well, on the flip side of that, I'm sure I mentioned forever ago, COVID times, like, that's when my eczema broke out, which I found out can happen when you wash your hands too much and use hand sanitizer, which was in the depths of COVID. Of
Right.
being told, like, you should probably wash your hands less. I'm like, I don't know who to listen to right
Right.
now. So I've ended up with other types of lotions I use on my hands because that's where it tends to break out. Listen, this isn't skin part two. This is the self-care episode.
Man, I forgot we did an episode on skin.
We did, and I wanted to do a skin part two so we could talk about like tattoos and stuff. So maybe we just do an episode on that. I did something. I'm confessing.
Oh,
This is my confession.
Evan, Evan, what did you do?
Yeah, I
Evan, look at
think.
me. Evan, Evan.
While we were on vacation, we went to La Jolla, did some snorkeling. It was cool. La Jolla, very expensive city, we found out.
It sure is.
Every single fucking meal came close to $100. So that was unfortunate. But Jocelyn was wanting to get her nails done. And she's like, hey, you're on vacation. You want to get a pedicure? This has been thrown out to me in the past as something I might enjoy because I'm a big massage fan. I love massages. Always happy to get a foot massage. And she's like, yeah, foot massage is part of it. Other skin conditions, I will occasionally get little bits of bouts of athlete's foot. Nobody likes it, but it happens. So I got my
But you get
products.
to like run really fast when you get
Oh yeah.
athlete's foot, right?
The flip side of that is
You can jump
fast
really
as hell.
high and you can run really fast.
Yeah. I could do the Mario triple jump ground pound. It's no big deal. Nah, it's just like little bits of skin will start peeling off. So I'm maybe a little self-conscious about my feet in that sense. It feels weird. Like I'm not like hiding my feet when I'm home. But the idea of giving my feet to a stranger
Right. It's like,
to
why should, like, they should pay you,
oh yeah,
not you pay them. Doesn't make
right.
any sense.
No, and that's also a risk. Is like, are they filming this? Am I gonna be up on Wikifeet?
Yeah.
Probably not.
You should ask them, though, like, hey,
Can you? Can I get a cut?
Yeah, you and I had different different takes on what you should say to them.
So then the other side, so like essentially the whole idea of the pedicure is you are getting a massage, but more so it's like cleaning up your feet, rubbing dead skin off, getting the nails really nice. Clipping my toenails is one of my least favorite things to do in the world. I have a minor beer belly, and bending over that far is hard to breathe. So I never really do a great job clipping my toenails.
You can't bring your feet up closer to you. I just imagine Evan standing straight up, bending down to touch his toes, and then clip, 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 clip.
I can
Oh man,
up.
that's so hard to breathe.
I don't know why. I've always been a very unflexible person. Even when I've been like, I stretch all the time. When I was doing like track and field, like regardless, I've always just really not been flexible, and I don't know what I could do outside of continue stretching forever. Yeah, I can get my foot basically up to where my other thigh is right now, sitting down. Not really much more than that. Anyways, long story short, my toenails don't look good, but most people don't see them. So this had been proposed to me before, and a lot of thoughts went through my head, clearly. So I'd always kind of said no, but had in the back of my mind, like, I bet I would really enjoy that. So this time, I'm on vacation. Fuck it. Let's do it. I did have a little athlete's foot on the side of my foot that was like pretty much gone, but still a little bit of dead skin there. And I'm like, if your job is touching up people's feet, you've seen it all. There's no world where my feet are the grossest feet they've ever seen. They're not bad.
Whoa, he just flashed the feet. If you're listening on audio, head over to our YouTube channel.
Head over to our YouTube for a Tootsie show. No, they're whatever. They're fine. So I get in there, and there are only 2 employees, and they start working on Jocelyn's nails, and I'm just sitting in a chair. I'm sitting there for a while, and I'm like, because Jocelyn made the appointment. So I'm kind of thinking, I think they just like forgot, and I'm not going to bring it up because I'm weird and self-conscious, and I don't want to walk up to someone and be like, aren't you supposed to be cleaning my feet? So I'm just sitting there for a while, and eventually they do suggest I move to a massage chair.
Ooh.
Okay. And they fill a little bucket full of warm water for my feet to sit in. Okay. I'm into this. Are you into a massage chair? Like an automatic, something you'd see in the mall?
I don't know. I don't know that I've been in one. I must have at some point, but I don't have like a memory of being in a massage chair. I think that
Good Lord.
I definitely saw them in the mall, and my parents, I think, kind of distilled like, that's a trap. Don't go in there. So
don't waste your money.
I think that I don't know when I would have been in one, but certainly not at the mall.
And because we had forever ago discussed doing an episode on massages, as we knew someone who was a masseuse or was training to be a masseuse. And we were like, maybe we'll do that, and it just ended up not happening. But at this point, have you had a massage, like a professional massage?
No.
Good Lord. We're gonna have a
treat yourself day. This self-care is
it's not
out
for
the
him.
window. I know. I'm like, I need a little self-care. Let me eat this big brownie. That's kind of my self-care remedy. And
I would be
it doesn't work
so...
because I only feel good in the moment, and then a couple hours later, I'm like,
Yeah.
why did I do that?
Listen, I'm
Why
done.
did I take care of myself?
Never again, I vow. I do a lot of self-care stuff. That doesn't mean I take care of myself. I had lemon-flavored Oreos for breakfast today.
Ooh. Okay, hang on, but we
Hang
can't
on,
move on yet.
please.
Are the cookies lemon flavored, or is the filling lemon flavored?
I wish I hadn't finished the package already because I wasn't thinking about breaking them up like that. I think it's just the filling, but it's possible the cookies were also lemon. They're very
Well,
fucking good.
the cookies, a good way to figure this out, Evan.
Yeah.
What color were the cookies?
Listen, they were
Regular Oreo color, or were they the lighter,
golden
like
Oreo
tan, the
color.
golden Oreo? Okay.
Yeah. But
Well,
that does
then
not make a lemon.
no, that's true. But it does at least now. I do feel like it could be either one, as
Yeah, that's where
opposed
I'm at.
to
I don't know.
if
The
you had just had
obvious.
regular Oreos and been like, the cookie might be lemon flavored.
Okay, so yeah, I see more the origin of your question. No, they are not chocolate Oreos with lemon
Okay,
filling, because that
gotcha.
would be weird.
Yeah.
I believe it's just regular, like, golden Oreo cookies with lemon
Okay.
filling, and they were
Gotcha.
fucking amazing. So yeah, I don't take very good care of myself. I just try in certain avenues. But man, I want to just like force this on you. I want to force a massage on you. I am
And by the way, if you hated hearing that, keep listening.
keep listening. Don't worry. This is all going somewhere. No, I would love not just like, I mean, listen, I'm obsessed with getting a massage. They're expensive, and that part sucks, but it's worth it sometimes if you can afford it. I am not thinking like, oh, like, you know, how people could be like, you've got to try it. Oh, you're going to love it. Like, some people don't. But I would be absolutely fascinated to know your response to a massage and if you would enjoy it or not. It is, I don't know. It's intimate with a stranger.
Yeah.
They're touching you places. Not obscenely. Yeah. I'm not talking those type of massages, but I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know how I would enjoy it. I feel like I would maybe even be more tense in a massage.
Yeah.
Just like because a stranger is touching me.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know.
And then I'd be afraid that they'd loosen me up so much I'd rip out a big fart.
Oh, you loosen me too much. Righty tighty, righty tighty. I mean, they got like I've done both. They've got like a super relaxing massage where it's just, I mean, they're always playing relaxing music, but they'll do like hot stones on your back or something like that, hot towels, just like not doing anything crazy. But then you can also get a deep tissue massage that hurts like a motherfucker, which is what I do 9 times out of 10. I don't know. My body hurts often, but that, having a stranger hurt you definitely takes you out of the self-conscious. Sure. You're just like, oh, that fucking hurts. I didn't know my body was so broken. I don't know. I feel like you're going to go your entire life without ever getting a massage or anything like that, and that sucks.
Yeah, it's very possible. Did you enjoy your pedicure, Evan?
Mixed bag. I enjoyed it to the point that I would definitely like to do it again, or get one again. Not do someone else's nails, but I would definitely go do it again. I would love to. Not at the same place.
Ooh,
it's a situation, and I found that's very uncomfortable. I don't know why. I guess because you're with other people usually. Like if you go out to dinner, like we all went to the spaghetti factory recently, fine dining.
True.
It cost about as much as fine dining, but you've got a group there. Even if you have the one server, it's like, yeah, you tip the server, but it never feels as much like a one-on-one situation of like, I have this personal relationship with this server. It's them visiting the group and whatever. Hopefully it all goes well. This is, again, a stranger touching my tootsies. And she doesn't speak very much English. We're not talking to each other at all. I'm uncomfortable with that. Like, the idea of just going into a place and having a stranger massage my feet while I say nothing to them at any point is uncomfortable. But I like a massage. And it was nice getting all the dead skin off my feet. Sounds gross, but pretty cool. I would say she was very gentle with that massage. To the point that I would argue it was not a massage as much as just kind of rubbing oil on my feet. I'm not trying to be picky, but that's how I felt. I would love to try it at a different place, but there was an awkward thing that ended up not happening, and then there was another awkward thing that did happen. But what I want to talk about is the standard for getting a pedicure. They list out everything that happens in the pedicure, and it's foot massage, exfoliation, whatever, pumice, scraping skin, rubbing down, using lotions and stuff, and then color your toenails. I'm not opposed. Again, very few people see my feet. Could be fun. Maybe I'll get a fun color on my toes. I have to assume these places make the assumption when it's a man getting a pedicure, they don't want color on their toes. But I started getting really stressed out. Like, is this going to be a thing they break? Like, do you want nail polish? And I fell into Elma, me, just growing up with a vision of masculinity.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't have any problem at all. Wearing sandals, whatever. Just walking around the world with colored toenails. Fine by me. But something about having a one-on-one interaction with a woman asking me, like, shall I color your toenails now, sir? I found myself really reverting into, no, I'm a man. I can't do that.
I mean, your neighbor definitely would have been furious if she saw that you had,
I think,
colored toenails.
That would not help the scenario. It ended up not coming up, and I'm like, I assume, but then I'm also going like, but is that shitty? Shouldn't she have offered? I paid for this.
Yeah.
I want aquamarine. But here's the thing. So Jocelyn had mentioned at these establishments you tip in cash highly preferred. I had gotten some cash out. I forget why. I think just for the trip. Whenever you're on a trip, it's nice to have cash for situations like this. And so basically, she finishes up, prints out a receipt, hands it to me. Now, I was paying for most of this trip, and Jocelyn was like, oh, let me cover the pedicure and the nails and stuff, blah, blah, blah. We try to even out our finances like that. So I didn't really know what to do, but I assumed Jocelyn was almost done. So I just kind of sat down and held the receipt. Like, she'll know what to do. And I'm a weird person who can't ask questions. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable in my own skin, despite the self-care. So I'm assuming you just pay for this up front, and it's like any getting food, or I don't know, when you're getting a massage, it'll do this. It's just like on the receipt or whatever, put in how much you want to tip, blah, blah, blah. In this case, I know they want cash, but you still would be giving it to them at the front, and they would distribute it a la a restaurant. Apparently, that's not the case. I was supposed to have tipped her there from the chair. So we're still the only other people here. And there's like 20 minutes where this woman is like, this fucking guy with his gross ass feet stiffed me. It all ended up being fine, but I hate that thought so much. And it felt like what it looked like. It didn't look like, I was planning on tipping. I just didn't know where to do it. I've never done this before. It looked like my girlfriend was like, no, you're supposed to tip. You go over there and give her some money. So I like walked to the back of the room with some cat. Here you go. Thank you. I didn't like that experience. So yes, long story short, enjoyed the pedicure. I think other places would do it better, but I did tip. Eventually.
It is, things like that though are like difficult. Like that's why
how am I supposed to know?
Right, exactly. Put up a sign.
Yeah, and I mean, they did put up a sign. It was just a sign that said tips preferred in cash. So I'm like, that's all the info I've got.
Right.
You can't expect me to make these leaps. I don't know. But I'll be back. Not to that place, but I will be back. Jocelyn also didn't have a good time with her nails. I think we collectively were like, oh, okay. That was something.
Okay.
Next time, would you ever do this? Would you get a pedicure?
I don't know. I just don't know. I like the idea of getting my feet nice and clean and massaged and nice.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
It's nice.
I do think that I still have a tiny bit of the like, but I'm a man, pedicure for woman. And then you kind of said like you're self-conscious about some of your feet. I am
maladies.
I don't think I'm going to be flexible enough to get my foot up here on the screen. Especially after I gave you shit about bending over to
That's
trim your
right.
nails.
Yeah.
Maybe now I have to do it.
He did it.
But on the
having seen both of them on video, I think we have very normal feet.
I think so too. But
it's just easy to get self-conscious over nothing.
I have hair on the top of my feet. And I
also do, but it's invisible.
Mine is very visible. And I don't know, because like I don't often see as much of that on other men. And so I don't know if I'm supposed to be shaving that off or if other men just have
Great question.
Lighter hair. Because it's the same thing with leg hair. Like I have quite a bit of leg hair.
Yeah, and I have arm hair, but it's just very soft colored. Like you can see the texture there, but that's the same with my leg hair.
Yeah, so I'm self-conscious about that. If they're gonna be like, oh, there's got this hairy hobbit foot I'm supposed to clean.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm friggin' paying you for.
But that's all I could do is remind myself, like, I've seen gross feet before. They're out there. And
it's true.
Guaranteed. I mean, listen, I said we were the only two people there. There was one other woman there when we got there. And hoity-toity was she a lot. It gives you the impression of like how some people act when they're getting manicures. She was awful. And really just rude to everyone working there. I'm like, I'm not that bad. Some people definitely come in with really gross feet. B, some people are just mean as hell and are looking down on these workers. I didn't do any of that. I don't think you would either. I didn't
Right.
do having bad feet. I don't know. I think you should give it a try. They really get in there and scrub some shit off. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe we need to have like, I mean, a
Record an
Chris and
episode from the
Evan
chairs.
self-care day where we go get massages and a
Yeah.
pedicure and um a little spa, like the face masks with the cucumbers over your eyes.
Have
All
you
that
ever
stuff.
put cucumber slices on your eyes? It's
No, I
fucking
mean,
awesome.
maybe I have in a like, I'm chopping up cucumbers. Let me
Uh-huh.
put some on my eyes because I'm so hilarious.
Yeah.
I've maybe have done it that way, but
Let it sit there. Let
that's
that joke run for a while.
it.
Just a very relaxing feeling. I've never had that I've never been to like a day spa or anything like that. So when I get
Yeah.
a massage, it's just like you're in and you're out. You know.
Yeah, I've never
Hour
done
or
that. I've
whatever.
never done the mud bath. I've never done.
Yeah, me either.
I
do
mean,
have
not that this is surprising
face
at this
mud.
point, 50 minutes into the episode, but I've never done any of the self-care stuff.
It's interesting. We gotta figure this out. There's some version of self-care that you would really enjoy. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't
And I'm
either.
not taking it upon myself to crack. That's up to you. I'm not gonna, as I threatened earlier, I'm not gonna force a massage on you. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, we are kind of at the end of the episode. I did want to also talk about like vitamins and supplements and shit because I'm Joe Rogan now.
Ooh, yeah. I used to take the gummy multivites. Um,
Delicious.
yeah, I mean they're pretty good, but I haven't gone into research this. But I saw a headline that was like, "Those things are actually really bad for you," and then I've
Okay,
never
this is how this works.
read up on it. I know exactly, so I haven't done any of that. Um, there was a brief period of time where I took some magnesium vitamin supplements.
Yeah,
As a child, I of course had Flintstone vitamins.
gotta. The best.
But yeah, that's it. I'm not taking like vitamin B.
Ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of those. But I just took the like general vitamins.
General vitamins.
Yeah. How how loaded up is your pill box?
I got my pills I take. Then vitamin wise, right now I'm just doing vitamin D, iron, and I have some vitamin C. I don't take it all the time, but through getting blood tests, it showed I am moderately low on iron. So I take that, and then I'm depressed all the time. So vitamin D, I'm like, hey, that can't hurt. Actually, I think I was also low on vitamin D. So those are my kind of standbys to keep me going. But I recently, and we got to wrap this episode up, but as of yesterday, I mentioned, I don't know if it was in the episode or off mic, that I've been reading a book about mushrooms. I'm not about to say I'm taking shrooms. I'm not microdosing, but I am becoming fascinated by mushrooms and have purchased a powdered mushroom, a dehydrated powdered lion's mane. This is ancient Eastern, I almost said technology, medicinal, whatever. It's supposed to just be good for your brain health, kind of help with your energy, help with not crashing all the time, and lifting some of that brain fog. You know, it's not like a miracle drug or anything, but I'm doing it in my tea. But the problem with it is that's an unregulated world, which don't worry, pretty soon everything's going to be unregulated.
Oh, yeah.
We're almost
We're
there.
going nuts on health services.
And let me tell you why regulation from the FDA is important. Because mushrooms are not regulated by the FDA, packages don't have to say what's in them. They don't have to have anything in them. I could legally sell you a little pouch full of like dyed baking soda and legally sell that as lion's mane mushroom. So outside of other people, there's no way to know. I could be just intaking absolutely fucking nothing right now. But I'm hoping for a good placebo effect at least.
Yeah.
Because I care about myself.
Don't you think it's interesting? And let me brace you. This is going to be absolutely nothing related to what you just said. But don't you think it's interesting that the Flintstones were like one of the longest running animated shows?
Yeah.
And that was like their big legacy, a flagship of the Hanna-Barbera studio.
Which was more impressive because they were running with a car. So
yeah,
to run that long.
Exactly. They need pedicures. Go to the little spa, get the little tiny pterodactyls to poke out their toenails or whatever.
It's a living.
But they were so popular, so famous, cultural icons, and now they're known for like selling vitamins and cereals.
Yeah. There's a commercial right now that's trying to make Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles cool again. And I'm like, listen, I'm down.
Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble like dabbing or flossing.
Essentially. It's like a borderline rap song. It's like, yabba dabba doo, y'all.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a very 90s conceit. I don't know. Curious to see if their numbers go up. But God, I do love
might have to
both
investigate
of those cereals.
this.
We might have to investigate this. How'd it go? How's your marketing?
Yabba dabba doing a good job.
Yeah, but do you like listening to this podcast? Because if you do, keep listening.
Yeah,
we're going to take a quiz in a second.
It's going to get better in a second.
It's going to get better, and you're going to learn something. That's what's going to happen. But first, you're going to learn where you can find other episodes. Like 320 episodes or something. Listen to them all. They're funny as hell. If you liked this, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, you know the places. You can also reach out to us on social media. We love to hear from you. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and with full video episodes on YouTube. All of those are at HowDoWeHuman. And you can send us an email if you just want to chat or ask us a question or give us an episode suggestion. Email us at howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
And now it's time for a breakdown. This is going to be a 5-question quiz. We're racing to 100 points. The score right now, Evan has 82 points. I have 79 points.
It's close.
It is
It
close.
hasn't been this close the whole time, but you're right there. I could trip at the finish line.
I'd love that.
Very easily.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1. New York City's Central Park is home to about 10,000 what? Statues, benches, lampposts, or trash cans?
I had an answer to this question, and unfortunately, it's not one of the available answers.
Was it trees?
I was going to say pigeons.
Oh, interesting.
10,000. I have walked around Central Park. Listen, I get it. It's big, but 10,000 is a lot.
It is.
I've got my answer, but I'm not positive because this seems like an outrageous amount for any of these things.
Agreed. I also have my answer.
I'm going to say lampposts.
That's what I'm saying as well.
Feels the most reasonable, which is probably wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it was benches.
Damn. All right.
Benches was my second guess, but I thought that was way too many benches.
You can never have enough places to sit. Which of the following individuals has never won a Nobel Prize? Interesting. Al Gore, Toni Morrison, Stephen Hawking, or the Dalai Lama?
I have my answer question mark, but it's a shot in the dark. I'm going just first thought, best thought on this.
All right. I'm going to have to do the same, which
I'm
feels
picking
counterintuitive.
the Dalai Lama.
I'm also picking the Dalai Lama.
It was Stephen Hawking.
Well,
Well, it doesn't do us any good if both of us are tripping here at the finish
no.
line. To aid in digestion,
Ooh.
which of these animals commonly swallows rocks? Camel, grizzly bear, crocodile, or elephant?
Going with my gut instinct hasn't been going well, but I am going to keep
But
it up.
this is a question about digestion, so if
I know.
there was ever a question to go with your gut on, it's this one.
Hey, let me follow the microbiome that is the bacteria in my gut. I'm going to say crocodile.
I'm going to say elephant, but crocodile was one that I was looking at as well. It was crocodile, so you do get a point.
Whew. Often made with two thermometers, a psychrometer is used to measure what? Gravity, UV index, air pressure, or humidity? I don't know.
I have no idea at all.
Thermometer. Oh, God. I've got to answer.
I'm between two of them.
Like it. Although, does that make that? No, maybe that doesn't make sense.
Right? I don't know if any of these make sense to me.
Thermometers. Two thermometers.
I think I have my answer.
I'm changing it up. I have no idea anymore, and I'm going to be very upset if my original answer is the right answer. I'm going to change. Actually, no, I'm changing again. I'm going to say gravity.
I'm going to say humidity.
That was what I just changed from. So I'll also be mad if that's correct.
Okay, I was between humidity and air pressure.
Air pressure was my initial answer.
It was humidity.
Fuck. I changed off of it. Horseshit.
Last question here, Evan. So far, not that either of us need this reminder, but we've only gotten 1 point each.
Yep.
What structural protein found in connective tissue is the most abundant in the human body? Collagen, keratin, insulin, or hemoglobin?
I can't say I know this, but I've got a strong inkling.
I do not have a strong inkling.
Good.
I don't want to brag, but I have heard of all of these.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. I think it's wrong, but I have my answer.
Okay. Hit it.
I'm going with insulin.
I'm going with collagen.
Okay. Collagen was correct, Evan.
Yeah.
This now puts you at 84 points and myself
Good
now
God.
at 80 points. Rough showing.
Thrilling. Yeah.
We last week, of course, all we had to do was have heard of Edward Scissorhands.
It was a nice
and
break.
There was no such layup today.
Nope. Apparently I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Thanks. That'd be a weird thing to blame me for. I don't know, because I care about myself. Are you all getting enough sleep out there? If not, you'd go to sleep right now and we could say good night and good luck and Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
And okay, bye. I forgot what we say.